Hmm.
The one time I look away, my teammates can't handle it themselves. Wait, Joseph, how do you get a multi-kill again?
What do you mean? What's a hike? What's a multi-kill? What's a multi-kill? Until like when you kill multiple people. Hey, just kill multiple people then. Hmm?
We want to pull him.
What's that song called?
This one that right here?
Yeah.
It's called Elite College Football. Nah, I don't know.
I've heard it before. I don't know what it's called. Oh, Kid Cudi. I think I remember because I saw this video of this guy who was he broke into a store that had a piano during the riots, and he was playing that song. It was something like that. Search up Kid Cudi. Search up rioter playing Kid Cudi. Nah, search it up, Justin. Yeah, hold on. I'll search it up in a sec. Let me see. I don't know if that was the song or not. Luther playing piano. See this one?
This is the Rittenhouse Square area of Philadelphia. Take a look over here. This is the Jacobs Piano Store. I want to show you this. We're going to cross the street. And I want to show you right now. You can just see what's going on here. It's an incredible scene. This is a piano store. They got the piano half out.
It's not the song he was playing.
A team store as well. There's pretty much nothing left in there. We've got people playing pianos inside this building. The windows gone.
What is this?
Professional behavior. They see our camera. This is a team store as well. There's pretty much nothing left in there. We got people playing pianos inside this building. The window's gone. And I'll upright piano down. Again, we're going to keep just trying to walk down, try to give you an idea of what's happening here. I mentioned earlier that there are a lot of these police on foot down here on this section of the city, on the streets.
Is this the song you were playing? Yeah. Kid Cudi. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You should use the WWII 28. It shoots really fast. I actually forgot about this gun. Oh yeah, the recoil. I just held it down on someone, but I mean it's not too hard. You can get it. Plus, if they're close enough, you literally just shoot them and it hits most of its shots. Shoots so fast. Yeah, this thing is really good. Oh, yeah, that's only for a certain class though. It's only for a certain class. It was like the most. I think it's the last class they ever added. It was a DLC class for the French spies or whatever, like something like that. Yeah, I know. That's for the resistance. Oh wait, no. That's for the airborne. The airborne can use SMGs. They're the ones who drop in on parachutes. The resistance has a secret ability where they can jam other people's radars. But yeah, you can just turn it on mid-game. It'll jam the radar, or you like disappear off the radar or something like that. Mhm.
We need to talk.
This is what you want to talk about.
Remember when TikTok was like hated by everyone, including me? Like I freaking hated TikTok because it was so cringy. Yeah, it was all the cringy stuff. But then when the meme people moved in, like I actually really like it now. I haven't seen a single cringe on my TikTok for in a long time. Because once you start watching memes, you just only get memes. So basically, you just gotta make your own TikTok. You gotta make it your own kind of TikTok and get the cringy things out of there. How do things have to change so much? I don't like how fast things change. You don't even notice that they change until you look back. I said I hate how fast things change. Like, you don't even notice that they change until you look back at how it used to be. Like, before TikTok existed, what did we frickin' do all day? I just watched YouTube, but like, I feel like, those things aren't as entertaining as TikTok. Cause like, yeah, you get like lost watching YouTube videos sometimes, but TikTok I always just get so distracted by it for a long time. I don't even remember what I did before I had a phone. Just sat around all day. Because when I didn't have a phone, I also didn't really have to do much for school. What's the point of homework? What's the point of school? God damn it. Now I'm stuck in the deep thoughts. Why? What's the point of school, Justin? We don't freaking learn anything. We, I remember it, and then next year I forget everything. Because I gotta learn new stuff. I know. It's so much more difficult online, because like in school, if you don't do your work, you get in trouble and you get forced to do things, but like online, there's no one to stop you from not doing your work here. Yeah, they can like send you emails or something, but they really can't do anything about it. I don't like how much life changes. Ah, God. No. Why the fuck do I gotta be sad? If there is a God, why did he give us the ability to feel sadness? Why did he put bad things in the world? Do you believe in God?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. I'm not used to. Because I was forced to. But like, I mean, I don't like the Bible and religious people because their things can be disproved so easily. Their beliefs crumble so easily, and I don't like it. There's like things in the Bible. You know how difficult it is to be like the perfect person in the eyes of God? You know you're not allowed to wear anything unless it's like 100% cotton according to the Bible. And your clothes has a whole lot of other things than just 100% cotton. So that's already a sin. Also, the whole thing about being forgiven is flawed because literally he says he'll forgive you as long as you regret what you did. If you confess your sins, if you become a better person, all that, you'll be forgiven, you can go to heaven. So literally Hitler could just say, he says he'll forgive anyone. He loves anyone. So Hitler could have just said that he regrets everything, and then he could have been allowed into heaven. What was it? No, the first DS. Like, that's literally what it was called, right? I remember I had that one. I played on it like a ton. Like, I played on it so much. I I know. I used to draw with it all the time. I used to take pictures of it, or pictures with it. I mean, I used to take pictures with it. I had a whole, so much stuff that I would do on it. And then one of my favorite things. I don't know. I bought games from the Pulga, and they when I put them in, it modded my Nintendo. So I had hacks on all my games, a bunch of mods and stuff. Like I had the original like Mario kind of game on my Nintendo DS, and if I went into like the mod menu, it let me turn all my characters into Paper Mario characters, which wasn't even on the Nintendo DS. So I could basically just play Nintendo. It was like a Paper Mario thing that came out, like a paper game, where Mario was flat. Yeah, I could basically play that for free on a game that didn't even support it because of the mod. Also, like, I had GTA Chinatown. You should get GTA Chinatown. It's so fun on the Nintendo DS. I don't know if there's any other GTA games on a Nintendo, but I had GTA Chinatown and it was so fun. I remember I never finished the game because I never really did anything. I always just kind of ran around. You could tase people until they caught on fire and died. You could, dude. It was such a detailed game, but it was a top-down view. And it had mods, like I said, because of my hacked game. So I could like spawn in vehicles and spawn in helicopters and stuff. And it was so weird because it was like one of my favorite game modes was there was this mini game where you would go to an island and homeless men would just start attacking you, and you had to find guns. First you had to like fight them with your hands, then you could like start picking up guns and stuff, and you just had to keep defending against the homeless men until you won, or you died or something. You could become a hospital. You could become an ambulance driver. You could be a taxi driver. You could sell hot dogs. You could buy hot dogs. You could do so many things, and it was literally a Nintendo DS game from the top-down view. It was so complicated. God, it was so fun. I remember the storyline was they killed his father. Actually, I have no idea, but I'm making up most of this. But I'm just gonna try and piece it together. But so for some reason, you're an Asian guy. You're going to a city. I guess it's China. I'm not really sure if it was China. It didn't really look like China. But yeah, you go to the city, and I remember in the cutscene you're on a plane, and you have a suitcase with a sword in it, which I think it's your dad's sword. And then I think you land the plane, and then you get kidnapped, and then they put you in the back of a car, and they drive you into a river and try to drown you. But then you have to tap the screen to break the glass, and you escape. And then you have to get your dad's sword back because they stole it. And I never got the sword, but I wanted it because it looked cool, and I wanted to kill people with the sword. But I never got it. That's all I remember about the story. I don't really know what it was. Damn. I keep trying to mount my gun. That's why I was telling you about the old Call of Duties. that's why I was telling you about the old Call of Duty games that I used to play when I was little, because like they were so freaking simple and they were so bad, like they were such bad games compared to how the technology is now. Yeah, they were so fun. I remember in the first 1 and 2 Call of Duties, you couldn't even run. You literally had to walk around. And then the third one they added running, and now it's come so freaking far. It's become so different. Things used to be so fun and so addicting. Like I used to play Assassin's Creed Black Flag for hours. It was Assassin's Creed. Do you know what Assassin's Creed is? Black Flag? It's like my favorite Assassin's Creed game ever. Yeah, you were a freaking pirate and you were an assassin. I used to gather up a crew, load them onto my ship, and then I would go invade other ships. And it was so fun because you were an assassin. So when you invaded other ships, you would get into pirate battles, but you could have like 4 different guns. Just spam them with your guns, you know, because it was still primitive technology. You just spam them with your guns, stab them, do all that kind of assassin stuff. Like one of my favorite things on Black Flag was you could get in a small little boat with a couple of your crew members. I remember you would like take off your shirt. I don't know why, but you would take off your shirt. Oh yeah, you only became an assassin because you stole the assassin hood and like the weapons from an assassin that you killed, and then you had to become an assassin so that you wouldn't get hunted down by the other ones. You had to pretend to be that assassin or something like that. But so that's why you were still pretty much a pirate. You take off your shirt, get onto a tiny little a tiny boat, and then you would go hunt down giant fish or whales and things like that, or sharks. And it was so fun because you had to upgrade to be able to hold more harpoons and be able to hunt bigger things. So like you would hunt down sharks and then load them onto your ship, and then you would sell them for money, and you could upgrade your ship and keep doing things like that. But you would find like these gigantic whales, and you would hit them with a bunch of harpoons until you finally caught them. The sharks, it was like these really giant, tough sharks. Man, there's a lot of stuff you could do in that game. You could go hunting. Oh yeah, I really liked going hunting. I would get a rifle, and then you would sail. Because it was freaking open world. So you had a pirate ship and an open world sea with islands everywhere. You could sail to islands that would just have random different species. Like it would have like lizards that would crawl around on the beach. You could kill them, skin them, and then sell them. And then you could go to like a different island and find alligators, and you would kill the alligators, and you would sell the alligator skin. And it just kept going like that. You had to sell different things and unlock different things. And I remember I really wanted to unlock a certain weapon, which was like you could shoot someone with like a grappling hook and like pull them up or something like that. And that sounded really cool, but I had to progress in the mission. I had to have a certain amount of money to make it to the next mission, because I had to buy like a barrel, but I didn't have enough, and I never made it. I never made it to the next mission because I just couldn't get enough money. And I don't know how I was supposed to get that much money, because like I tried pickpocketing, you would barely get any money from that. And I literally just never made it. I don't know why. Never got to get that weapon. There's a lot of games that I never finished, but they were fun, and I'd spend a long time on them. Garden Warfare, the first one, was really fun. I used to be really good at it. Like, I would freaking clap those plant cheeks as a zombie with a crossbow, because he would shoot a burst crossbow. Yeah, the commando. If he headshotted someone, it would pretty much one-shot them. And I would clap so many people from the rooftops with him, because you could use his RPG on his back to get up onto the roof, and I could just clap people. Yeah, I have the second one. The second one is like really different. The first one is fun. I missed the first one. What? Plants vs. Zombies? Yep. Tomorrow though, because I'm gonna get off soon. Yeah, I probably need to re-download it. Why do things have to change? I just want to go back to how it used to be. I want to go back to when I was a little kid, so I can choose to do things differently. Or at least just... Damn it, I'm so old now. I already went through so much of my life. I'm still young, but like, think about it. If I die at 100, I already went through 15% of my life. That's a pretty big piece, okay? Because I only get one shot. It's like if you're playing a game that you really, really enjoy, but you only get to play it once, and once you finish it, you can never play it again. I'm already 15% done with the story. I don't want to be this far in. And I don't even know if I'm gonna make it to 100. Not everyone makes it that far. So, yeah, no, Justin, why? If I make it to like dude, I could literally die anytime. Right now, Kim Jong-un wakes up from his coma and launches the secret nuke that can actually reach the U.S. It hits Texas. Boom, we died. Boom. It could literally anything could happen. Anything that could possibly happen will happen in any possible universe, any possible version of our world, because I also believe that there's other timelines, other dimensions, other things like that. So what if we are just in the dimension where one day the Earth just decided to stop existing? In 2020, like the 2020, how it's been going for us, that was just foreshadowing. It was trying to tell us, hey, you're not gonna have much time. That's why everything's going wrong. There's so many things happening. The plagues. You know Ebola came back? There's another Ebola outbreak. There's the coronavirus, there's Ebola. People are going crazy now because of the whole George Floyd thing. Now people are against each other, even though everyone was supposed to be banding together because 2020 has been going really bad. We're supposed to be staying inside. We're supposed to be together as a community to try and survive the pandemic. But because of something that police officer did, now everyone is against each other. Yeah, everyone's outside rioting. People are fighting. People are killing each other. I saw this video of a guy with a shotgun, like, defending his business from rioters. Like, if that's what you gotta do just to defend your business, obviously rioting isn't the right choice. Someone said that when you riot, it's because there's no other way for people to, like, actually listen to you. But, like, the media has been talking about, like, pretty much everything that the rioters are trying to say. The media and a whole bunch of different, like, powerful people are talking about the injustice, but people are still rioting. So they really shouldn't be, because the rioting is pretty much your last resort. You don't have to be violent unless you really need to. You know, people are only people because at one point in our evolution, our brains decided to have a big brain moment, and it just grew for no reason. We just suddenly developed the ability of free thinking. We are now able to think for ourselves. We realize our existence. A dog doesn't realize that it's a dog. A dog lives its life not knowing what it is. It doesn't know what its purpose is. It doesn't... Well, we don't know what our purpose is either, but a dog doesn't care. A dog just lives life every day. It doesn't really have responsibilities. It just eats, drinks, it goes to sleep, it wakes up, and it repeats all over again. It literally just lives. There's no point in it living. It just lives. But humans, now that we can think, and we can do what we want, we realize what we are. We're humans. We don't just live. We have to have a purpose. We have to have a reason for living, otherwise why would we want to live? So everyone's out there just trying to find their purpose. Not everyone can find it. Frogs, dogs, seals, whatever animal you can name, could have had the exact same thing happen to them. They could have had the same abnormality in their brain that causes humans to be humans, but for some reason they just decided not to get it. So if you don't believe in, like, basically God creating humans, and you believe in evolution, literally, we could have just never had that, and we would have remained as animals, just living day by day, not thinking the way we do. But for some strange reason, by the odds of like 1 in a billion, our brains decided to make us think, and now we're like this. I wouldn't be thinking of this if anything could have happened. Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? Something like that? I think it's the butterfly effect, where one tiny little thing can change, like, everything out of its reach. A butterfly flapping its wings could cause a tornado on the other side of the world, because that butterfly made a tiny amount of wind that just somehow managed to carry itself and entered like a bunch of other wind that became a tornado, and the butterfly basically has no connections to it other than just it flapped its wing in the wrong place at the wrong time, creating a tornado. So anything that we do, maybe that one day, if I hadn't stepped a little bit to the right, I never would have met you. How am I supposed to know that? I could have literally just... Yeah, but you could have known them and not known me. How did I meet you? No, like, how did I meet you? I don't remember. But, like, think about it. It could have, like, literally everything that has ever happened in our lives has led up to this exact moment. And what I just said, the moment that I just pointed out, is long gone because time doesn't stop. Which means, like, I just told you that everything we ever did led up to a certain moment. But right when I point out the moment, it's gone. Because it just keeps moving. I can't point anything out because nothing stays the same. Right now, things are out there changing. We are changing. Everything is changing. And while it may not seem like we're in motion, our cells are moving constantly. We're moving millions of miles per hour through space, and we can't even feel it. We have no idea what's going on. We are just a pointless little rock in the grand openness of space. Yet we feel like we're so important. But when you really look at it, just like I said, if you look at how it looks compared to everything, it's so tiny. Every day, the universe expands. Every day, it gets wider and wider. We're never going to reach the end. We're never going to find out everything that's out there. No matter how long humans live, no matter how long our species continues, we're never going to figure out what it's at the end because it's never going to stop making more and more and more. We're probably never going to know if there's other life out there because, well, we will eventually, if we live long enough as a species, which I don't think we will. Based off how things are going now, we're going to run ourselves into the ground. We're already capable of developing gigantic... You know the biggest nuke in the world, the Tsar Bomba, can, like, wipe out entire states just with one bomb? And it's not even as big as it should have been. The original design is supposed to be, like, twice as big. But the designers didn't want it to be too destructive, so they made it a little bit, like, a little bit smaller. And it's gigantic. Like, it can destroy so many things. So imagine... if the right person, a smart person, just puts their mind to it, they can create a weapon that can destroy, like, multiple states just with one bomb. Yeah, it'll just keep developing and developing and developing until eventually we can destroy entire countries, we can destroy entire nations, we can destroy the world. And while if someone just doesn't value the Earth, if someone just doesn't care, then of course they're gonna do it. What's stopping them? Eventually, we're gonna have the technology. We're gonna be able to destroy everything. As of now, like I said, we already have really, like, terrifyingly powerful technology. The like. Yeah. Mhm. Hmm. You know, like you said, you know, psychics and people who picture the future and all that. A lot of people say that they're fake because obviously, like, they can't. But what if literally in a certain timeline? What if they're just looking into different timelines and they actually can? Because what if they look into a timeline and they see the future, and in a different timeline they might have been right, but in our timeline they were wrong. There's Yeah, what if in a certain timeline it actually did? We were just the lucky ones who made it past it. Yeah, we were just lucky enough to make it past it. But it could end at any moment. Like I said, it's hard to picture, but literally anything could happen at any moment right now. Before I even finish a sentence, we could mysteriously vanish for no possible reason, and no one would know why. No one might even realize that we're gone because maybe we'll just be deleted from everyone's memory. Maybe everyone we ever met, everyone we ever knew will just forget because some otherworldly force decided that we shouldn't exist anymore. It could happen, just at any moment. People disappear all the time, and sometimes they never find a trace of them. No one knows what could have happened. Maybe they were murdered. Maybe they just got lost and died. No one ever found them. Or maybe they just vanished. Maybe they transferred into a different dimension. Maybe they went into a different timeline, and they just disappeared from ours. You really never do. There's no way of knowing what can happen. Scientists can predict things, and like, for example, let's say vaccines. They say that vaccines are like 99.9% effective because we've tested them. We've tested vaccines, and they appear like our tests show the results that they're really, really accurate. But maybe in another timeline, they aren't accurate. So we can't really know for sure if something is guaranteed. And it's so hard to picture. Like, even for myself, which I'm the one who's just like thinking about this, it's hard for me to picture that anything could happen at any moment. Because like right now, I know we can't think of every possible thing that can happen. We just can't. Yeah, oh, yeah, how are we supposed to... There are so many colors that we can't see. There are, like, there are so many. I think there's an animal that can see 1 million colors, and we can only see like 160 or something like that. No. We can see a little more than that, but I don't know. But the animal can see way more colors than we can, and we can't even imagine it. Scientists, they can't show us what those colors are because, like I said, we literally can't see them. They exist, and they're there, and if we look at them, they're just gonna look like blue, they're just gonna look like a red, they're just gonna look like maybe a slightly, like, different shade of what the colors that we already know. It's so confusing because you can't see the color in any way, but it's there, it exists. What if we're in a simulation because other humans that are more advanced than us just wanted to go back and see what it was like to be us? So we're actually living 2020, but we're living as the model, like, person. Like, right now, if we go back in time and we think about how people you lived in the, like, 90s or 80s, there's, like, a certain criteria, there's, like, a certain stereotype of how people lived. What if right now we're just that stereotype that other people are imagining? What if we're literally just what everyone imagines 2020 people to be like? And I can't stop thinking about how 2020 is making history with so many things. Like, there's so many people banding together to make justice happen, which it's never really happened like this. It's like a goddamn revolution in the United States. It's happened before, but it's been a while since we've had a revolution. It's been a while since we've really had this many changes. And the UFO pictures, they basically just confirmed that aliens are real. Because if we knew what it was, then it wouldn't be a UFO. UFO is unidentified. And even like our own military, which should know exactly what that was, admitted that they have no idea what it was. So clearly aliens exist. They could be anywhere. Yeah, we won't know it. And I hate how complicated the universe is. I hate how complicated everything is, because right now, all the possibilities I'm thinking of are so cliche. Like, if I say that there could be aliens living among us, you know how many people have already said that? But there are so many, like, different things that could be possible, well, that are possible, and maybe are happening right now in other places, but I just can't think of them. And I have no idea what they are. Right now, if I try to think of something that you, like, think about if you're being mind controlled and you have to think about things that you wouldn't normally think about. How do you know what you wouldn't normally think about? Like, you can't, because if you think about something, then it's what you normally think about. You don't think of anything that you don't think about. It's so confusing to think of something that you don't think about. God. There's no way that you can know what's going to happen. There's no way that you can know how things will turn out. So I think you should just do things. Like, if you want to say something to someone, you might as well just say it, because you never know how long you're going to have with them. You don't know how long they're going to be here. You don't know how long you're going to be here. One day you could go to sleep and you're just not going to wake up. And then you're going to be regretting for the rest of eternity, if there's some sort of afterlife. You're probably going to think back, and you're going to wish you said what you wanted to say, but you didn't do it while you still had time. Maybe you want to say something to someone, but they're going to leave, and you just never had the courage to say it. Yeah, like, you could have told someone how you really felt about them, and maybe they felt the same way, but if you don't say it, you'll have no idea. And it's always difficult to do things, obviously. Like, if you're nervous, or if you're like shy or something, it's gonna be hard to do things, but you've always just got to remember that you might as well, because the worst, like, what's really the worst thing that could happen? Like, if you ask someone out, the worst thing that could happen is they say no, and okay, so what? You move on. It doesn't matter. But if you don't ask, you're never gonna know if they were gonna say no. I just wish we had more time. I wish we knew when things would end. Like, imagine if we could quick save in real life. Just literally save your game, ask them, and then if they say no, you just go back and just don't ask them. Maybe do things differently. But we can't. So that's why it's important just to do what you want to do while you still have time. Don't let people hold you back. Because if you let them hold you back, you're never going to do what you wanted to do. You're always going to regret it. You might miss the opportunity. It's just, one of my biggest fears is just, like, I want to do things in my life. I want to, like, yeah. Like, there's always going to be something holding you back. There's always going to be complications. Whether it's money or just like, obviously, we're not even done with high school yet, so we can't do many things. But even when we are, we're not gonna have a lot of money. We're gonna have to get a job, which is gonna hold us back as well, because we're gonna have to spend time at our job. And if we yeah, you're like, when you retire, that's why I told you about the heist when we're at 50, because 50, you lived your life. You're pretty old, but you can still pull off a heist. And at that, I'd be happy, because dying at 50, because you lived long enough. You saw everything you could possibly see at that point, because I mean, once you're an old person, you can't really do much anyways. You just live until you die. So if we pull off the heist, we get to retire, we get to live our lives happily, because we have all the money we might need. And if we die, well, at least we went down with the boys. We went down fighting. Yeah, we went down doing something with our lives, instead of just dying at an office job. I just want to experience things. I just want to do things with my life. But what if one day, like I said, what if one day you just don't wake up? It's like people always say, you have to live every day like it's your last, because you don't know if it's your last. Live every day like if you're just not gonna wake up tomorrow. You might as well take the risks. You might as well do what you can. You might as well be nice to people, because what's the point of living if you're not going to be nice to someone? There's no reason to be mean to someone. I mean, if they're rude to you, yeah, you can be rude back. But like, if someone... What's the point of just being rude to someone for no reason? If you see someone walking down the street... Yeah. I hate that, like, that thought that no matter what happens, it's not going to stop. It's going to keep going. And whether it leaves you behind or not, it's not going to stop. Life isn't going to stop just because something bad happened to you. You're just going to have to deal with it and keep moving. If you let it slip, it's just going to leave you behind, and by the time you realize it, it's going to be ahead. That's why, like, some, like, old people can't even accept how the world has changed. They can't accept all the new technology. They don't understand it, because maybe they just let it slip. They let it go past them, and everything changed around them. There's still some people alive who were alive before electricity. Yeah, they're like 100 and something. Which is like... It's so weird to think about. Being alive before Wi-Fi, being alive before the internet. Imagine... Yeah. Exactly, like... There's so many things you can do to just distract yourself. Like right now, us talking about this, I've literally just been running around in a solo match shooting bots this entire time. I've racked up 638 kills. Just literally running around shooting bots while I was talking about this, because I just got so distracted by the video game and by our conversation. It's like those memes about 3 a.m. conversations with the boys. They just get so deep, philosophical, dude. Hurts my brain that we can't understand life. But also, I don't really want to understand it, because, I mean, it's so complicated. But there's also, like, it's kind of good at how complicated it is, because if you knew what would happen, then why would you do it? Like, we learn from bad things happening. We learn from our experiences. So if you had like a thing that told you exactly what would happen in the next 5 seconds, and it was a bad thing, then you wouldn't do it, and you would never learn from it. Yeah. Well, yeah, bad things, embarrassing, like bad things, embarrassing things, mistakes, they're always gonna happen, but they're not really a bad thing, because at least you learned something from it, at least you experienced it. Technically, everything we see is just the same thing painted differently. Every color is the same, just slightly adjusted. Every person we see is the exact same person, but you know, we're 99.9% similar, but that little tiny 1%, it was what makes us all different. Which, our skin color, our personality, literally everything, we're so similar, but at the same time we're so incredibly different. We're so like, unique. Bro, like, what if we should have been recording this entire conversation? God.